So I just want to get any feedback from the board on this as to, is there anything else you would like to see? If you don't really have anything you want to forward right now, if you can forward it to me before the next meeting, actually several days before the next meeting, so that it can be integrated into the document that you'll get for the board meeting.
Let's say 1 week. Let's say by next Monday, any changes, please get to Ed so that he has time to put it in place so we can vote on it. by next
Email
week.
to you?
Yeah, just email me anything that you'd like to have considered. And copy all the other board members, just in case it creates a
Put them double up,
discussion.
right.
Because we are a little bit under the gun as far as trying to get this thing done. And I know you have a lot of other stuff in front of you, so I certainly don't want this to, even if this is half a loaf, that we have it updated and we can work on it a little bit more, we'll do that, okay? Any questions on anything else for Treasurer's Report?
I have a question for Bill, on discussion of the water rates. Can we do that in executive session?
It's contractual.
Doesn't mean that you can do it in executive session because of the contract. I think what we can do in executive session is we can talk about some things that we wouldn't be able to otherwise, and that will relate to
Right.
how we do some kinds of implementation. So we could talk that way, but if we talk about the rates themselves, we ultimately have to do this transparently.
Why is it contractual? What's the
Excuse me?
contract with?
Because you're setting basically a municipal rate for people who are getting or getting services from us. So it's essentially a subliminal contract. So when people, it's a user service, it's not a tax item. So the actual schemes and the actual rates in discussion, if they're not established, can create a lot of misinformation that in turn could end up complicating the whole discussion. As Bill said, once the rates and the scheme is determined, then it has to be voted on publicly. But it does create a lot, it's just like when you're negotiating any type of service scenarios, like with a vendor or whatever, you're not necessarily going to do that in public because you don't want, in this case here, there's several vendors, or there's not several vendors. In a case with a contract with, let's say, working on the sewer plant, there you don't want public disclosure because there's no benefit to the town or the village as far as the pricing if they all know what each other's doing. So a case like this, when we're setting rates, the discussion of the scheme would fall under, and again, I'm not the attorney, but in my experience, would fall under a executive discussion
But it
first.
seems like if the people are the contractees, they should have some input on it.
They would, because essentially when the rates get presented, there could be comment on them.
Be a public, first of all, there has to be a resolution, there has to be a hearing. And the hearing can go on for as long as it takes for the public
Right.
to weigh in on what the board has proposed. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen, it means it's proposed.
Yeah, and there won't be any discussion and vote behind closed doors.
Yeah.
It's not what we do.
No,
Okay.
and technically, as the board, you could do it publicly, but the problem is that you won't have the ability to cut out the misinformation, which then could create more bigger problems. Ultimately, what you come out with, like Bill Florence said, is going to be publicly discussed and reviewed anyway.
Exactly.
So the scheme you determine requires probably some confidentiality. See, because if somebody in the meeting goes over, if one of the trustees, and this is a good example, if one of the trustees says, you know what, I think water rates should go up 300%. That hits the street, and then all of a sudden everybody thinks water rates are going up 300%. So the trustees don't necessarily feel like they can really speak their honest position. Now, if it comes out of the board at that number, then obviously they have to defend that number. But a trustee necessarily won't have they might not say anything, even though they have an opinion that could be something that maybe the public would initially react to negatively, when maybe once all the facts are on the table, they'd understand, well, that's actually not so far-fetched. So,
Okay, we're gonna move on to new business.
Okay,
Ed, thank you so much.
okay, you got it.
These are
Thanks.
excellent. The procurement policy is another example of the updating of policies that all the different departments are doing, and I appreciate the effort. Again, 22 years old, it's a good start and a good step forward. All right, on new business, I need a motion to approve the minutes of written regular meeting September 2nd, 2014. Mr. Brown, second? Second, Mr. Mellon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion for a request for training for trustee Murphy to attend the Housing Summit on September 29th, Anthony Pier 9, at a cost of $30. Do I have a motion?
I do, I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mellon, second. Trustee Brown, all those in favor? Opposed? Abstention? I need a motion to approve the budget transfers from account 235200045 to account 30888019502000, the sewer fund to the M&T fund, in a quantity of $3,446.62. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to accept the transfer from account number 235200045 to account 30888019502000 in the quantity of $25,000. This is for the EFC review bond. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? All those in favor? Opposed? I need a motion to approve transfer from account A.5110.04 to account A.8160.04, street maintenance contractual to refuge garbage contractual, and then I have $7,500. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to transfer from account A 9060.08 to account A 1410.02, health insurance to clerk's equipment in the amount of $1,549.66. This is to help offset the cost of the KVS system. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I have a resolution for final notice and termination of service for unpaid water bills for May 2014.
Can I stop you, there was still one more approval on that? On the 9060?
Yeah, there was. I need a motion to approve transfer from account A 9060.08 to account A 1410.04, health insurance to clerk's contractual in the amount of $950.34 to offset the KVS. Do I have a motion? Mr. Brown, second.
Second.
Mr. Mellon, all those in favor? Thank you, Gina. I have a resolution for final notice and termination of service for unpaid water bills for May 2014, whereas the Village of Highland Falls has 126 delinquent water accounts in the amount of $28,216.80 remaining unpaid, including late fees from the May 14th water billing. Now therefore be resolved, the clerk notify all delinquent water customers that unless payment is made before 4 p.m. on Monday, September 29, 2014, water service will be terminated. Be it further resolved that if any service is so terminated, a reconnect fee of $75 will be charged to restore said service. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second? Mr. Brown, roll call.
Roll call, trustee Mellon?
Aye.
Trustee Brown? Trustee Murphy?
Aye.
Mayor Flynn?
Aye. I request to approve a new junior member of the Highland Falls Fire Department, Tyler Parcells. Charlie, do you want to speak on this?
He has been attending various things at the fire department, seems very personable. I'd be happy to make the motion on this.
Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I have a request from the Highland Falls Fire Department to take engine 428, Rescue 430, and the chief vehicles to the Orange County Volunteer Firemen's Association Parade, Saturday, September 27th, in Cronmer Valley. Charlie,
I'll make that motion.
do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I need a motion to accept the bills and claims for the year 14-15 in the amount of $103,946.38.
Make a motion to pay the bills and claims.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment.
Two quick items, the second one first. The motel, I can't remember the name, but we drive into town, the poor ugly thing that everybody always complains about. And I know there's been an issue with how long people can stay. I know many years ago, there was a proposal for them to do some rebuilding or refurbishing, and it got shut down. And you were all talking about fixing Main Street, and yet that project, I think it's been shot down more than once. Just bringing that up. My first item is, Mayor Flynn, thank you so much for your letter about the Section 8 housing. I think it was really informative and probably more facts than fiction, which we've gotten in the past. The other issue with Section 8 is not the number, but it's the fact that Highland Falls is probably pretty close to 50% rental property. And no matter what people want to say, is renters don't have the same vested interest in a community that homeowners do. Doesn't make them bad people. A lot of them are transient. They're here for a short time. They might be connected to the point and move on. But it is an issue, and it's an issue with your schools, it's an issue with your businesses and everything else. So keep in control of Section 8, and also the things you mentioned today about checking on properties that might have more people living there than should be, illegal apartments and houses, which makes it dangerous for firemen and rescue people. So the rental thing, it's not to put anybody down that needs assistance with housing or that is a renter. It's just when you have too many renters, issues are very different. They don't think the same. When they see their rent go up, they don't see it as a contribution to taxes in the town. They just think the landlord's zapping them again. So they don't get out and they don't vote, or they don't vote probably as much as a homeowner does. And that's just a big issue. Your letter about Section 8 was great. Thank you.
And just to be clear about the renters, because that was brought up in a letter. There was, it was a miscommunication, the people that thought it was saying one and not the other. When I talked about renters, I'm saying that the only way that we can control more Section 8 in our community is less rental property. Renters are great, and renters help because they contribute, whatever. We need ownership. We need ownership because the more owners and the more people that invest in this community, the less renters. That's how it is. We have an overabundance of rentals compared to other communities in this county, which is why we have an way overabundance of Section 8. When I talk to the county and I talk to the state, and I go over the numbers, people that weren't aware of our numbers were very floored by the fact that we had so many in this community. And again, if they were our people, doesn't matter, let's help them out. We're getting a majority of them from coming outside of this community, moving here to get it, and according to the state, representatives from the state that talk to us, the county program, they come here, get their Section 8, because we have so many rentals available, then they take that certificate and then go anywhere else in the state. So they come here to get their certificate, and the state hates the program. The state's trying to figure out what to do about it. So they do not like what's going on in our town. They do not like the fact that they believe we're being abused by the Section 8 program. Because people from all over are coming here, because we have so many rentals, to get a Section 8 certificate and then go wherever they want in the state. So when talk to state, they believe the same thing. So the only way that we can combat this, and on our waiting list are people, seniors from our community, and people from our community that cannot get the assistance because people outside the community have taken the slots. And that is what we have to try and figure out how to fix. Highland Falls and the town of Highlands needs to help Highland Falls and the town of Highlands, first and foremost. We will never be strong enough to help others if we don't have a strong community. So we need to help our own first. Then, if there's room, we can help others. But when we can't even help our own, why are our tax, and our, don't make any mistake about it, our tax dollars are going to this program. So we're helping people outside our community and not being able to help our own. That's the crime.
You know, I have friends in Pearl River who have a large house, and it had like maid's quarters, so they had an apartment in the house, but it had to be owner occupied,
Right.
and that is also probably a good way to look at, granted, it was only a two-family house, I don't know if you could do that with like a small apartment house, but.
But we are, the Section 8 issue is not dead. We're not looking to, again, no one's gonna be thrown out. That is what, and maybe that's what you didn't understand. When I said we can't get rid of Section 8, or we're trying to get rid of Section 8, no one's gonna be thrown out. The Section 8 program is backed by the county. What we're trying to do is make it so that it's a little more workable,
Community-based.
more community-based, more workable within our community. Any other public comment? Yes.
Does this fall under public comment?
Anything you say
Okay.
falls under public
I'm
comment.
revisiting the, last year, about the pavement on 21 Hillside. So, it came before the board, you didn't make a decision, and then it came up again 2 weeks later at a meeting, and there was not a decision. So I just wanted to come and remind you that, we're still interested in getting it paved. I have the survey here, I gave each of one of you a survey, but I can give you 2 more. If you want
Is
to
it a
take a
recent
look.
survey?
Pardon?
Is it a recent survey?
Yes,
I thought the
yeah,
same.
it'll be there in your records.
Right.
October 7th and October 26th. I was here. So if there's fall pavement, or would you talk about it again?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And that, Mrs. Fallon did approach me earlier, and what I said was, we have a list of roads that are in serious need. And the list went back to when Pat Patterson was street superintendent, and those still have not been taken care of. Hillside is not on that list as of right now. But as we go and as money becomes available, this is, I believe, what's known as a paper road. that
No,
piece.
it's actually, it was perceived as a paper road
Right.
because the neighbors, took care of it, the Dohertys and, well, the Mrs. Doherty actually had it. But it is on the tax records, the county records, the surveyor looked it up, it is a public road. But because they took care of it these many years, the village did not have to do it. There is a new owner, and new owners and new owners. Nobody wants to take care of this road now. And they shouldn't, because it does belong to the village. It is a village, a public road. And it's in there in the survey.
Take that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how Fusco on this matter, because I think there's a certain width the road has to be, and if somebody's maintained this all those years, I know the Dockery's did, and use it as a driveway, and it was sort of not access to anybody but them, really.
No, that is, and that's the problem. It's, it actually, comes out, it is a road,
No, I know,
but there's too many properties using this road as other things than a road should be used for, such as, basketball, I mean, just products on it, cars.
Mhm.
so it should be it's a 20-foot space that should be egress and ingress.
But I don't, as a kid, I remember I could never drive through there.
You should be driving.
You should be,
But I mean.
the road takes you to,
The
the road takes you to the driveway
Right.
of the Cranfield's house now,
Which is-
Mrs. Dougherty's
okay,
house.
Right,
You can't get to her driveway unless you go to Hillside Avenue,
right.
like any other driveway. If it was used as a road, that's perfect. But if it's used as a parking lot or parking for other things, neither can the other house on, that's called Edward,
Right.
not Edward, I forgot the next one.
Right.
Locust?
Pardon?
Locust.
Locust?
Locust. So the gent from Locust can't get to his back.
What I'll do
So-
is, Bob's gonna follow this up. We're gonna, because of, it's changed owners, it's different now. So we'll figure out what needs to be done, but just so they understand, we could figure this out tomorrow. You know, not that it would happen, but if it does happen, we'll figure it out tomorrow. That still doesn't mean they're moving up on the pavement. If it was determined, you know, if it's determined that we have to take care of this, when that pavement comes up, we will pave it. Just so she knows, and that's what we'll do now, we'll look into it,
I
we'll check
think
and make
they
sure
under-
everything's good.
I think they always did understand it, but when you take a look at that road, if that piece of 50, it's only 50 feet, if that 50-foot road was between Church and Homestead, or on Mearns or Kleitz, you would pave it right away. It's in that bad of a condition.
Not on Mearns, we don't pave on
No.
Mearns, not yet.
Okay.
But on
But what
Homestead
I'm
and
saying
Church, probably.
If you do take a look, if it was on any other public village road, you would say to yourself, that's gotta be done. But they do understand it's probably not a priority, but it would be.
Can I see after the meeting and just you point out to me where you're talking about, just so we're all on the same page? You're talking about paving right on through the Locust?
No, it's a 20 by 50 foot road. It comes up hillside,
Yeah,
so if you come all the way up to hillside, the end of the road
right at the property
is
line.
at that wall.
Okay, all right, I got it now,
So, and then the other one is Locust here, and then Hillside
I got it.
this side.
What we'll do is, Bob will work with John Hager and Kevin Hurst, determine what's what, and then we will have Kevin take a look at this year, compare it to what is being spent. We only had the CHIPS money, we really didn't set aside a lot more money for paving this year.
Mhm.
We were going to flip over whatever money was not used for next year, and then do some more budgeting for next year for any roads in, that need it. But, I have no problem with him looking at it, and as you say, it's in disrepair. If it's determined that we're responsible for it, then we will take care of it.
But what I'm saying is if there's an equality question about which is more, they understand that this only services 3 people. Church Street, Kleitz, whatever, that does service a bigger population, but it's horrible.
And that's how they establish a priority, who gets paid, you know, I mean, who gets, the larger amount of people to travel road and
Mhm.
finishing.
But
it does
the bottom
get-
line is,
But it does get a lot of use,
right,
other than roadway,
the key is to let them know where they stand.
exactly.
That's what they need to know, and it needs to be, the issue needs to be settled.
Right,
Once we do that, then we can move forward either way.
exactly.
Okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Yes.
I just had 2 questions. On the senior center, with the budget, I think it was 53,000.
Yes.
Do you know approximately with everything that's been done, where the budget stands now? Or maybe just never doing?
I don't know, I'm gonna have to check on that. No, we probably spent half.
Okay. And
Uh,
did you say after it gets painted, then it can be open?
Yes.
Okay, so then there's still you're in pretty good shape then.
Well, for heat and water and all the
For the
expenses to maintain
monthly
the building
maintenance.
for the rest of the year, yeah,
Right.
that's what, we're not trying to spend all 53.
No,
Yeah.
I just, and with that, was there ever any kind of cost analysis done as far as what you think it's gonna cost monthly?
Yes, we did, it was $260,000 to have the building turnkey.
No, I mean, the monthly maintenance, like the electricity.
No, we haven't,
Okay.
because I would just be guessing, I didn't look at an estimated, an older bill to see, because we never really got those, so.
And the older bills wouldn't be conducive to what we're doing now because we're upgrading the services, so we're hoping we would be spending less on a lot of the, whether it's electric, gas, or whatnot.
Well, yeah, it's, how much are they gonna use it is gonna dictate.
Well, yeah,
So,
that was
you know,
gonna be.
I don't know what the policy is, whether we're gonna be in there every day and turn the thermostat up. We really don't have a handle on the cost, and we're not gonna have it for probably a while. Once we get through this winter, we'll get a pretty good idea,
Right.
but I'm trying to maintain this as cheap as possible, because I don't wanna spend more than we have set aside to go
Right.
distant. And, we're trying to do it within budget, the work and the maintenance of the building for the cost throughout this fiscal year.
Sandy, in answer to your first question, $35,428.65 had been spent up until this meeting, and I think we had a couple bills,
Okay.
so it's a
Oh,
little
over.
more than that.
$1,500.
So it's getting down there, so those people that were waiting to donate, it's time. Okay, you wanna wait for the big push? Big push is on. You can donate right here in the village.
And then, my other question, at the last meeting, there was a request for training from the police department, and it was for Dispatcher Bora and Detective Kuhn to go on the training, session, and you said that you weren't gonna allow it unless two others went, or two others,
Yes,
who was going?
Dispatcher Bora and Officer Torky.
I thought you had said,
The chief had said that we need an administrator as one of them. And she right now is the only administrator for the dispatch.
okay, thank you.
Any other public comment? Floor comment. Charlie?
I'm good.
Mr. Brown?
No.
Mr. Miller?
I have nothing.
Fantastic.
That's it.
I did, one last thing, I want to thank the building department, and our lawyers, previous lawyer Ben Gailey, our lawyer at this time, Bill Florence, as well as our engineer, Al Fusco, and a special thanks to the Milsums that kept this on the agenda for the last 5+ years. 109 Center is down, and the area looks fantastic, and they haven't even finished the final area, you know, finishing the area. Something that needed to happen. I appreciate everyone's help on getting that done. That area, that little piece of the community, definitely looks improved, and we are looking at, you know, where other areas that we need to do that as well. There are one or two other buildings that we're looking at. Moving on them again will depend on budgets and ability. So, but I would like to thank those people for continuously working on that. All right, with that, I would ask for a motion to close.
Motion to close.
I would like to motion to move into executive session, thank you. Almost got out of it. Motion to move into executive session.
Okay.
Charlie, second. Bob,
Yes, sir.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Wait. Oh, were you sitting there the whole time? Oh, okay, you're reserved for that.
Oh, they couldn't make
Okay, so moved. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great night.
Are you going into